out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuning to Apartment 5B podcast, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect as always. Portia's on strike again, so that's her up there in the corner. We got my Philadelphia brethren, Rel, down there with the Eagles hat. I'm rocking the Flyers, Eagles over there, so you already know it's Philly and low all day, every day. What's good with you, Rel?
Chilling, good. Happy to be here, as always.
All right. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into this. You rock with Apartment B long enough, prayerfully, you know we do salute shows. We try to get them in once a month, but it's starting to be once a quarter because we're getting so many topics on tap. But we do a salute show. We just talk about the first time we heard this artist, some of our favorite songs, their best album, what's their legacy. You know, just giving the artists their flowers. You know, before we lose them, we've lost so many dope, incredible legends and pioneers of this culture. So we just want to make sure we're giving people their flowers while they're still here. Tonight's show is going to be on MOBB, DEP. So out of Queensbridge, everything salute Mobb Deep. They got the new album about to drop on Nas' label Mass Appeal. So we're going to be chopping it up about everything that we kind of just talked about. First time hearing them, favorite albums, favorite songs, all those things. And more importantly, like what their legacy is, you know what I mean? And with this new album dropping, are we hyped for the new album? What are we expecting? So, yo, P, why don't you set us off? Now, here's something. P, I've known you for how long? How long have we been cool?
How old is Nay?
Nay's about to be 20 next month.
Okay, so I've known you for 11 years.
Wow.
11 years.
Nay about to be 20?
Right.
I know,
Nay's
I
about
can't
to be
believe it.
20.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Which is crazy. So, yeah. So 11 years. I've known this shorty for 11 years and had no idea you were a huge Mobb Deep fan, man. How did you hide that from us for 11 years?
You know, I don't know. I don't know, but I get a lot of crap from people. Like, I often hear people tell me, like, you like Mobb Deep way more than you should. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, Mobb Deep's the best. Mobb Deep is my favorite duo of all time. Like, people who know, I guess, who I talk to more. I don't know why you don't know that, Kill. I feel like I talk about that.
Here's the thing. Yo, we all know you love Pac. We all know you love Blue. We all know you love Quick. Like, so I'm just shocked that in 11 years, like,
I know, I haven't
this hasn't come out.
I know, it's crazy. Like, my brother always gives me shit for it because he's like, yeah, Mobb Deep's cool, but they're like, you love Mobb Deep. He's like, and they're my number one duo. I like them number one, and then it's Outcast or Gangstar, and then it's Outcast for me. Like, this is the three, you know. So right. Yeah, it's I can't believe that we've just kind of, you know, learned this today. My apologies.
Hey,
I'm not a good fan. I'm not a good fan.
Hey, this is the dope thing about friendship. You stay learning more about a person. So, P, you set us off then. When is the first time that you heard Mobb Deep versus when was the first time you knew Mobb Deep was like they had some shit? And it may be one and the same for you. So
it's one and the same for me because when I first heard Mobb Deep, I was still in Manitoba, so I hadn't moved to BC yet. And
what's Manitoba?
It's north of North Dakota. That's where I lived and grew up. So for like some part of my life. So I didn't get, like, I didn't hear Juvenile Hell when it dropped.
Okay.
But I did hear Infamous when it dropped. So for me, it was like, I heard Infamous and I was like, oh my God, like, I love this duo. And it was just always the case. Like, nothing they had a pretty good run for starting with the Infamous for a couple albums. So I really had a lot to kind of go on. And so that's what kind of cemented I heard Mobb Deep for the first time then, and kind of was just, you know, with them the whole time. Like they were with me the whole time kind of thing. So yeah.
All right, no doubt. Now, people out there who watch the show, we already know Rel loves Mobb Deep. I mean, this dude is legend in the streets for his Mobb Deep stories. If you don't know, check some old episodes of Apartment 5B. It's the running joke around here. Rel, talk about the first time you heard Mobb versus the first time that like you knew they was gonna have some shit, or if they're one and the same like P.
No, I actually heard Juvenile Hell. Like I saw the videos or whatever of
right.
It was Peer Pressure.
Hit it from the back and Peer Pressure.
And hit it from the back, yeah. And I didn't, you know, I didn't think what I think of them now. I heard that, I was just like, you know, and I just remember my homeboy, he's like, yo, you hear that Mobb Deep? And I'm like, no, they got something new. And I heard Shook Ones Part 2. And I was just like, hold on, what is this? You know what I'm saying? He had it on tape.
Right.
And then from then on, like the Infamous came out, and it was like everybody knows like I'm a huge Nas fan. But as far as like influence a little bit, Mobb Deep had a crazy influence on me coming up, you know what I'm saying? And some of it wasn't good, but it was it was an influence, you know what I'm saying? So when Infamous came out, that was it. I was like, you know, these my dudes, these is crazy. So
right. And I'm similar to Rel, heard Hit It From the Back. And I mean, I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? It was a little John, you know, shorties from the back or whatever like that, but it wasn't nothing to write home about. It was like they was just one of the many groups that was coming out around that time, 90. We just did the show about 90 to 93 and how many groups came out. And it's funny because promoting that show this week on Twitter, there's so many other groups that hard to obtain. Grayson and Jason, like people were just naming just hundreds of groups, right? Miz and Fresco, like, so they just, I felt like 90 to 93 was that time where everybody was just getting signed and every label was trying to get, you know, trends of culture. Everybody was getting signed, but, you know, these labels didn't even know what to really do with hip hop. So when I saw Hit It From the Back, I was like, all right, this is cool. You know what I mean? But it wasn't anything crazy. Then the funny thing is Mobb Deep had this sticker and it basically like was Shook Ones and it was the definition of it. And it was like those who act like criminals to protect themselves from danger on the streets, when in reality, they live in fear for their own lives. And then 2, it was Mobb Deep's debut album on Loud RCA. And I was like, yo, this is an ill sticker. For people who are my age, like y'all remember the hip hop stickers. I mean, the marketing for, you know, street teams was crazy back then. Stickers would be everywhere. So I seen that sticker. I was like, okay, they sent the 12-inch to 889. And I heard the first Shook Ones, because for a lot of people, they think the Shook Ones that we all love, that's really part 2. So I guess that's the remix to the original. But I heard the first one, and I was like, yo, this shit is hard. Like, this is these dudes. That's the same people. Like, it reminded me of when I heard Jay's In My Lifetime. You know what I mean? The first time my man, a kid called Roots, came through the studio and played In My Lifetime, I was like, oh, shit, that's that nigga from Can I Get Open and the boy from Jazzo. Like, it was a whole different style. And of course, by the time I heard Shook Ones too, I was like, yo, these dudes done. I don't know where it came. And I'm gonna talk about this in Mobb's legacy, about how they was able to go from 0 to 100 like that in one album. But yeah, so that was it. And I would say once I heard the Infamous as a whole, I was like, yeah, these dudes got some shit. So Pete, tell me this. What are your top 5 Mobb Deep songs? Well, first, let's do this. Let me do them their just. Their discography, they dropped Juvenile Hell in 93, Hit It From the Back, Peer Pressure, The Infamous in 95, Hell on Earth in 96, Murder Music in 99, Infamy in 2001, America's Nightmare in 2004, Blood Money 2006, that was their album with G Unit. Then the infamous Mobb Deep 2014, and of course, tonight at midnight we got Infinite dropping through Nas's Mass Appeal. You can't sleep on P's solo discography with H&IC 2000, Return of the Mac 2007, H&IC Part 2 2008, H&IC Part 3 2012, the Bumpy Johnson album 2012, and the Book of Revelations 2017. And I always bring up Havoc's album that nobody talks about right here, which was crazy, The Silent Partner, produced by Alchemist right there. So even on a solo tip too, they still got a mass amount of bangers in here. So P, what are your top 5 favorite Mobb Deep songs, and a little bit on why for each one? Matter of fact, we could just go around. Give me one and we'll go around.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with the obvious, and mine I feel like are going to be pretty predictable. Shook One's Part 2, of course.
All right, so you just throwing a big joke on the table.
Yeah, I have to, because all I mean, you can't not mention it.
Right.
So Shook One's Part 2, I mean, this is probably everybody's favorite Mobb Deep joint. And even if they don't mention it, I feel like it is by default. The beat is crazy, the verses are crazy, like everything about it is just like amazing. It's amazing. And it's a 5 mic song on a 5 mic album. Like, again, I lean really towards Mobb Deep a lot. So for me, I just have nothing, like, it's just all of the good things that a song should be. Dope rhyming, chemistry's there, of course. The beat's crazy. And it's just been timeless. Like, it's just forever gonna be dope. And I feel like anybody who hears it at any age, even if they're like just getting into hip hop or just kind of finding Mobb Deep, Shook One's Part 2 is gonna be that joint. You know what I mean? Like, that song that is always gonna stick out, and it will be the favorite. Right.
MP here for the night. Let's give you another one, because Shook One's is gonna be on everybody's list. So
okay, then I have Eye for an Eye. And I know, again, my list is very predictable, but for me, this is just, listen, it's Havoc, it's Prodigy, it's Raekwon, it's Nas. Like, I can't, this is like, I don't know, this is like the Four Musketeers. Like, they're amazing. This is the best of New York together. And I'm just going to go ahead and say New York on a broad scale, because obviously, like, the boroughs, but again, Ray and Nas are just dope on this joint with Have and Prodigy. Same thing, like, dope beat, again, 5 mic song, the best collab. Like, I would even say it's a dope posse cut. Like, let's just call it a posse cut. So yeah.
And I think the thing about Eye for an Eye, you got them at probably their height. You know, like, everybody, you know, maybe 96p is a little bit nicer than 95p, but everybody is in their prime right there, you know, on that joint. And the beat was just nasty. I remember the first time I heard it, it was just like, yo, this shit crazy. First joint I got up is Back At Ya off the Sunset Park soundtrack. I love the original Right Back At You, but that remix, man, do I love that remix. That Bumpy's Layman, the sample Have used was just crazy. Same sample Dre used for Explosive, but I want to say Dre used the Soul Man's version of it versus Have using the Isaac Hayes joint, but just an incredible joint. The video was crazy. And like I said, the original was so crazy. I love that. But when that came out, it was just like, yo, this joint is perfect. The chorus was perfect. Just a perfect hip hop song to me. So that's one of mine. Rel, what you got up for one of yours, bro?
All right, I'm gonna go to Hell on Earth, and I'm gonna go God Part 3. I love that song, bro. Like, the beat, the verses, the hook. I remember when it first came, when me and my cause like me and my best friend Jason, you call us a mini Mobb Deep. Like, that was the first person I started rapping with, and like I told you, they had like a crazy influence on us. No way. I'm about to say. So yeah, and that when that one came out, that beat. What is the drums on that? Where they get those drums from?
On
GOD
which
part.
one? Oh, that's
GOD
the
part.
little. It's the Little Feet break beat that Tribe made popular for Bonita. It's the Bonita.
For Bonita,
it's the Bonita
yeah.
drums, and it's the samples Little Feet.
Perfect with the kind of the mafia background. It's crazy. So I'm gonna go with that GOD Part 3 because I had Eye for an Eye on mine, and I had Shook Ones Part 2 on mine too in my top 5.
The crazy joint about that is I'll talk about this a little more with Have on the production tip, but what I loved about Have was he was able to mix some of the hardest, nastiest samples, but then at times the drums wouldn't be crazy hard. You know what I mean? Like that, when you think about that breakbeat, it's a real light breakbeat. You know what I mean? Like it's Bonita Applebum. You know what I mean? It's the Fugees, Killing Me Softly. You know what I mean? Like they're on songs like that. They're not usually on no song starting off with a nigga shooting somebody outside their window. You know what I mean? But it all comes together. So it's crazy what Have did with that. P, what's another joint you got?
I got Quiet Storm remix.
You got okay.
I got the remix because of Kim. I have to do that one, and that song, like again, out the gate, I loved it, and that was on repeat for the longest. So yeah, I just again, I feel like as I'm going through this whole entire topic and picking out these joints, like Prodigy and Havoc have this really, really great way of being able to mesh well with, and when we talk about like slept on joints or even like the verses that we like they have a really good way of being able to not only transition smoothly between their own verses that they sound so seamless, but also collabing with other MCs. Like they've had like a lot of featured MCs on their joints, and they've been featured on others' joints. And for me, like it just always seems to just mesh well together. And I can't say the same thing about all rappers aren't like that. Sometimes they feel disjointed, out of place. For some reason, Havoc and Prodigy, they just, all of the collabs they've done, it's just been amazing. So Quiet Storm, same thing with Kim. Like it's just almost like a perfect collaboration. And so yeah, I have to kind of put that on my list.
It's crazy, Pete, that you said that, because I'm just sitting here thinking like, damn, you're right. Like Mobb Deep got the Microphone Master remix with Das Effects, which doesn't sound like these two should be together, but it worked. You know what I mean? Right. Like that's a good point. That's a good point. Like that Microphone Master remix was crazy. And again, it just don't even seem like Das Effects and Mobb Deep would even know each other type thing. Like to even scream at like, yo, I want to get you on this joint, like y'all free. Like, so that's a good point, P. I never thought about it like that. You threw out the Quiet Storm remix. I'm gonna go with the OG. This has been an infamous battle on Twitter. People go back and forth with which one is better. I know I'm in the minority when I say the OG is better, because it's always more people, because I think they love Kim, especially now that Kim got that dumbass dance that she does, like that she's known for. So I think that ups the ante even more for the Quiet Storm remix. You know what I mean? But the OG to me, oh my God, that OG. And we're going to get to the quotables from that OG when we get to like some of our favorite quotables. But I think P like left Earth on that joint right there. Like P has had some amazing verses in his day, but I'm always intrigued. Like, yo, what was going through your mind when you wrote that? Because I don't think P was crazy on the remix. I think P's verse on the remix is good. It's good. It's all right. The original was like out of body P. So it's like, I don't know if it was like, I heard, or P, I don't know if you heard this, but I heard that the original Quiet Storm was supposed to be for P's solo album. That's why it was only him on it. But it blew up so much. They was like, yo, let's put it on the Mobb Deep album. And then I don't know if it was like, damn, I really thought this was my shit. Because to go from what he did on the OG to what he did on the remix verse is cool. But what he did on the OG verse is just ungodly. So I really am intrigued as to know, like, why didn't you bring that same energy? Were you just in the zone with the original, or what shifted? But I definitely got that joint right there because I love Quiet Storm. Rel, what's another of your top 5 fave Mobb Deep joints?
I have. All right. So I had the Quiet Storm original on here. But I have off of Murder Music, The Realest featuring Cool G Rap. That, first of all, that beat, doom, 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 doom. That beat is crazy. And Cool G Rap's verse is unreal, bruh. Like, his verse is retarded on there. Oh, can I say that? His verse is crazy on there. Like, just basically to what Portia's saying, like, their collabs, like, it just mesh. Like, they got collabs with 8 Ball and MJG that sounds great. You know what I'm saying? Cool G Rap, of course, Nas, Wu. Prodigy is on A+'s album, and the song is fire. A+ is a kid rapper. Like, Portia made a great point that I didn't even think about. Like, the collab, they would just be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And this is definitely one of my favorite songs. Like, everybody killed it. The beat is crazy. It's like quintessential Mobb Deep. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with the realest.
The crazy thing about that is we talked about it on a G-Rap Salute show, but it's like, yo, this is 99. G-Rap dropped in what, 87? You know what I mean? So this is 12 years later, and G-Rap may have the most dangerous verse on there. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Just like, yo, it's just again a testament to G-Rap's pen and the Mobb Deep collabos, especially when it comes to Queens niggas type thing. P, what you got up next?
I'm gonna go with Dump from America's Nightmare, and that's featuring Nate Dogg. And this is again an example of what I'm talking about. Like, I would have never thought that Nate Dogg and Mobb Deep would have been able to kind of have a fun song. It's fun to listen to. Again, it's still gritty and it's still very much in Mobb Deep style. So it's not like, you know, shiny or whatever you want to call it. But Nate on like the vocals with a Havoc and Prodigy rap, like, it's just amazing that they just managed to make this very dope song. And of course, Nate Dogg, I talk about Nate all the time. He's a Swiss Army knife to me. Like, just can do anything, sounds great on everything. And on that track, I feel like Nate also brought it. Like, he really brought that together. And I love that they collabed, and I love that was like a thing.
Yeah, that joint. And when you said that first, I ain't remember it, but I know the joint you're talking about now. Again, Porsche, you made a great. I guess you coming for tithes and offerings this week because your point about their collabos was spot on. Next I got up is Still Shining. Yo,
oh, that's my next one. Okay.
When they sent that to 889, bro, and I mean that was a blessing about hosting 889 because it was like getting music before everybody else heard it. So like we really were able to break all these songs. Like, shout out to my man Fam who's been on the show. Like, anybody who was in the DMV during that time could tell you my radio show was breaking all the music. It was like, oh, the first time we heard this, the first time was 889. So being able to hear that and play it on the air was like, oh my God. And way too many quotables. Like I said, I'm gonna get to that later on in the show with some of the dopest quotables. But again, 96P, I just think 96P could easily be the dopest MC of 1996, which is crazy because you still got Nas, you still got Big, you got Jay, but yo, P was really coming for niggas next in 96. Rel, what you got up next?
I have another one. It's like G.O.D. Quackstone, Realist. And I got QU Hectic off of the Infamous. And again, that's one of them, like, that's like quintessential Mobb Deep sound. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you hear that joint, you know. And that's like Porsche said, it's a 5 mic song to me on a 5 mic album. And yeah, like I could have picked so many, but like a lot of these songs is tied to, like, I could remember like when I first heard them. You know what I'm saying? And where I was at, what I was doing, and all that. So QU Hectic. That's my last one because y'all said all my other ones for my favorite, top 5 favorite.
All right, P, you got any more for your favorites?
No, I had Still Shining on there. So,
Right.
and you mentioned it. So, yeah.
I mean, but how you feel about Still Shining?
Yeah, like you said, well, I mean, I didn't get it before it dropped.
I mean, right.
Like,
But
I
I mean,
didn't get to work at a radio station that was hip hop. So, but when I heard it, I mean, it was the same thing. Like the beat again, they're rapping. I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but to me, and I've mentioned this on Twitter when Mobb Deep conversations come up, or when there's all those like rankings, or who do you think is the best this or that. Havoc to me is the best producer rapper, if that makes sense, of all time. Like, to me,
the best producer of the mic ever.
To me,
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad.
Like, I just think that Havoc could be a producer not rapping and he'd be dope as hell. And I think he could be an MC not producing and be dope as hell. And the fact that he can do both of them at such a high level, to me, I don't know, like, there are like producers that rap and it sounds a little bit forced or it sounds uncomfortable. Havoc sounds comfortable on the mic and he sounds confident on the mic and he sounds like he is an MC. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the fact that he produces is sort of like a bonus for me. So yeah, I don't know how I went off on this tangent from Still Shining, but to me, like, Havoc is just that dude. He's him.
I think another thing we're having, I mean, you said it, being a rapper, not producing, which again takes me back to the Silent Partner, where Alchemist produced the whole album. So it is just have rhyming, and it shocks me so many people haven't heard this album, but this album is a banger right here.
Right.
But I think too, it's one of those things. I think Have kind of falls in that big boy category where everybody loves 3000 and nobody talks about him. I know everybody loves P, but Have actually got better with each album. Like, you know what I mean? He became a better MC to probably by their 4th album. Have may have not been neck and neck with P, but he kind of was right there with him. You know what I mean? So, no, I agree with you 100%. I'm not mad at anybody saying Have is the best producer on the mic because, number one, most producers on the mic don't write their rhymes. You know what I mean? The other part is most producers on the mic aren't great MCs where Have is... I've never heard a Mobb Deep song and be like, oh, damn, P watched Have on that joint. Like, Have has always been able to keep up. So it's the same thing with Big Boy when they be like, oh, 3000 is so much better. But I'm like, you ain't never heard a Cass song and been like, oh, 3000 watched Big or whatever like that. So if you haven't said that, then that means he's keeping up with who we're calling one of the greatest lyricists ever, which to me, then that means Have is much better than the props that he usually gets, especially as being MC. I think Have gets his props on the boards and being a producer, but not as an MC. The last joint I got is Getaway, man. I love that joint, man. Yo, good Lord, I love that joint, man. That's just a banger to me on so many levels. And it's a later Mobb Deep song too. So sometimes boys ain't heard it, but I mean, Getaway to me is just crazy. You know, the way they go with the sample and the beat, just again, Mobb Deep being Mobb Deep. Let's talk about some slept on songs. P, what's the slept on Mobb Deep song that you rarely hear people talk about?
I could just not be talking to the right people, so I don't want to say nobody ever talks about this. People very well might talk about this, but I don't see it. Extortion with Method Man.
With Meth?
Yeah. Again, Method Man is, as you guys know, and I've said it, my favorite featured MC of all time, him and Jada Kiss. So, and I do have a Jada joint coming, but Extortion for me is just that Method Man's voice on that track with Havoc, with Prodigy. Like, these three, again, they could have been a trio for all we know. They sounded that dope. And I just love the lyrics. I love the way the track flowed. So yeah, Extortion for me, I think everyone loves that song. I just don't hear people talking about it. So I don't want to say, you know, like, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me not talking to the right people.
Nah, I don't never hear, to be honest with you, I don't hear people really talk about Hell on Earth like that. You know what I mean? You always hear the Infamous, but I'll see people pop up here and there with Hell on Earth. But to me, it's like when you talk about Mobb Deep, it's always with the infamous. You know what I mean? So, I never hear people say extortion. First slept on song I got off this joint right here, America's soundtrack. Y'all already know where I was coming with, man. MOBB, ACD, Burn Something, Get Lifty. Queens, is you with me? Turn around, kid, try to stick me. I backed him out with the 50-50. Had been a thug in me. Tunnel banger, come and get me. First 500 bitches free. That right there is one of my favorite ways that any artist has ever set off a rhyme. If you have not heard it, it's called Street Life. YouTube it. Get this joint right here, which is a very slept on. I mean, it's not really a soundtrack. It was more like an AIDS awareness album about America's dying slowly. But I mean, who's on here? Biz, Pete and CL, Wu-Tang, Coolio, 8 Ball and MJG, Mobb Deep, Money Boss Players, Spice One, Organized Confusion, Daylight and the Beat Miners, OC and Buckwild, Sadat X, Fat Joe and Diamond, Domino, Mac Mall. Just a very dope soundtrack. But that Street Life, that shit, the beat is crazy, and the way he set it off, just chef's kiss with that joint. Rel, what you got up?
I got Apostles Warning. This is the last song on Hell on Earth, and Prodigy. Well, we'll get to verses. His verse on Apostles Warning is insane. It's crazy. He was in a zone on this one. And like you said, it's one of those songs like my friends talk about it, but I don't hear a lot of other people talk about it. And you're right, Hell on Earth in general, and Hell on Earth is 5 mics to me. So Apostles Warning, because it come on right after Still Shining. So you got Still Shining, and then Apostles Warning come on, and P go crazy on there. So that's my slept on joint. One of them.
Yeah. P, what's another slept on joint you got?
Drop a Gem on Them. And it's interesting that I like that song as much as I do, because that's a reply to Pac's Hit 'Em Up. And but here's the reason why I like it is because, like, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm naive, I don't know, but I would think that Tupac, especially in Hit 'Em Up, coming at anybody the way he was, just guns blazing, he came in hot, like, I'm very impressed that he didn't intimidate them. You know what I mean? And like, they're very young at this point, and they just came right back, and I like that. I like that, you know, you kind of went in the booth, you did your thing, and you dropped the joint, and very dope. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That's also going to be in my verses, like in my top verses, because I really was very, like, pleased to know that Pac couldn't, like, bully them like that, you know, or he could, but they weren't going to just take it, kind of thing. Like, they definitely came back. So I love that. So drop a gem on them. And I don't know if everyone loves that joint as much as I do, but I do like it.
Drop a Gem was crazy. I was banging out on the way home tonight. Next one I got up, Survival of the Fittest, but the remix.
Nice.
You know what I mean? The remix was crazy to me. Still like the original better, but I like, you know, the whole vibe of the remix too, which I thought was crazy. So definitely, if cats haven't heard it, definitely tap into the remix. Rel, what's another joint you got, bro?
I got Burn off of Infamy.
Burn.
And it's an upbeat joint, but it's hard. It's yeah. And my boy Rapper Noy killed that joint. Yeah.
Vita was on there too.
Vita did the hook. Yeah, Vita did the hook. Yeah, and it was, you know, it was an upbeat song, but it was still street and grimy. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
And Noy did kill that. I keep a gun around my way because I'm a fucking drama king like my nigga K Slay. That Noy lost it on that. Stupid motherfuckers. When will they ever learn? Keep playing. Yeah, that was my shit right there.
Yeah, that's a
what's another joint you got?
Another joint I have. This round goes by so fast. I have Cradle to the Grave from the Infamous album. Love that joint, and I love the storytelling. Like, I think that Prodigy is a little bit slept on when it comes to storytelling, although he's very dope. And I just love the way he rhymes. Yeah, and I think that it's not mentioned as much as it should. I think it's a great kind of story about, the streets and snitching and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Right. The last joint I got, Party's Over, which ends the Infamous. I thought Party Over just ended Infamous perfect. You know what I mean? Like, again, and nobody ever talks about that joint. You know what I mean? But very slept on song to me. I'm real big on how albums, how it's put together, like what the track listing is. And like I said, I felt like with the Infamous, you're never like, damn, when is this going to be over? It's like you hear Party's over and it's like, damn, it's over. We got to start over again. So I felt like the placement of it was perfect too. So another one of my favorite slept on joints. Rel, you got any more left for slept on?
Yeah, one more. Temperatures Rising. Again, like Porsche said, storytelling on that joint was crazy. And, the beat, the hook, the drums, everything perfect on that joint. That was one of my standout joints when I first heard the album, Temperature Rising, especially the verses. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's a dope joint. P, any more slept on joints for you?
One more. You're gonna laugh. It's Hey Love with 112.
I know it. I know it. It's Heartmelty. I know it. It's Heartmelty. I knew it.
Oh, no, P, nah. This is not. You can like the song all you want. You cannot tell me that Hey Love is fucking Heartmelty.
Are you kidding
aren't gonna
me?
do that. Jodeci's Forever My Lady is not fucking Heartmelty, but Hey Love with fucking
Yes. Oh my God, we're gonna talk about it when I can say the verse. Listen, Hey Love is just that. It is so Heartmelty, and it's the meltiest. Like it's right up there with You're All I Need. And the reason and here's the thing, is that Mobb Deep, like Prodigy, Havoc, like they've got this grit, they've got this like they're hard, they're like hardened dudes, and then you get them on this track with 112 and they're just amazing and they're so sweet. And
spit something. If you telling me that this shit is Heartmelty, what did Peter have
pay
say
for airtime just to vibe with you? Like, love, like I just can't.
Casey said, so you're having my baby and I'm not leaving you, and that was not Heartmelty, but I'll pay for airtime.
Jodeci by default has to stay with her. That's the mother of.
No, they don't. No, niggas don't gotta stay with the mother of their children. P. You got
they're connected to the mother of the children forever.
This nigga just said he gonna pay for some airtime, nigga. That ain't shit.
He's coming out the pocket. Nobody wants to come out the pocket. He's coming out the pocket.
I don't. You know what? This Heartmelty show is gonna be crazy because I don't know what you want now. I have no idea. This nigga's just gonna pay for you to fly. Niggas do that for hoes.
Okay, but
prostitutes.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna talk about more Heartmelty stuff when I can talk about the verse.
Bro, are you with me, bro?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna
fly you out. That's not Heartmelty. I'm gonna fly you out. I'll smash to fly somebody out.
Listen, I knew this song
I knew it was coming too. I just didn't know where it was gonna come on this show. I knew it was coming up.
Cause I heard Portia say she liked that song before, so I knew it was gonna get brought up, and it was Heartmelty. I knew it. Wait till she get to the verses.
I need to hear more. All right, so tell me this: what is? I'm assuming the Infamous is everybody's favorite Mobb album across the board. All right. So then, what would be your second favorite Mobb Deep album? P, what's your second favorite Mobb Deep album?
Hell on Earth.
Yeah.
Hell on Earth. Easily. That's a 5 mic album to me. And are we going to spend some time talking about? You did say that we're going to spend some time talking about how Mobb Deep was able to resurrect their entire life
this
after
right
juvenile hell.
Ooh. Yeah, we definitely got to talk about that.
Okay, because this was another 5 mic album to me.
Yeah. And it's funny because I don't even know young boys ain't even gonna remember when the CD used to be enhanced and you could throw the CD in your computer.
Yeah.
So this was one of those joints right here. So just crazy, man. Yeah, this was a hell of a dope album, man. And one of the things that Nick always brings up that I think is a great point is that, with Tip, doing some of the production on the Infamous, it was like, you know, I mean, of course it's a Mobb Deep album, but it's kind of like he always talks about like Have really like that this Hell on Earth is really a Mobb Deep album because it's just all Havoc. Like Havoc was in his bag, he was there. So like I never thought about it like that before, but definitely it's like this album is more of the Mobb Deep sound than the Infamous, and this is my pick for their second best album too. What about you, Rel?
Yeah, it's mine too, and it was all Havoc. That was the first,
Yeah,
because Q-Tip helped out with.
Yeah, he
Infamous.
he did Drink Away the Pain, he did
Drink Away
Just
the Pain.
Step, he did what you just named, Temperatures Rising, and he
Yeah,
may have done a fourth one, but I know he did those three. He definitely did
Yeah.
those three.
Yeah, and so this was all Havoc on Hell on Earth, and
Yeah.
that's my second.
Yeah, that thing crazy. All right. So Pia kind of already said it. So is Mobb Deep a top 5 dopest duo? Now, we all have a different definition for the word duo. For me, a duo is two MCs who rhyme. So Porsche, we already know they're your number one, right?
Yeah. That's
All right. So they're number one. Mobb Deep is probably their top 5. They're top 5, but they're probably number 5. I got Cast, Clips, EPMD, Run DMC, and then Mobb Deep. And again, for people watching, coming in number 5 behind the groups I just named is no disrespect. We gotta stop with this shit where if you don't say somebody isn't number 1, that is disrespect. Like, that is not disrespect, nigga. Everybody can't win. Everybody can't be the GOAT. I would be more than happy to say I'm somebody's top 5 in any category. You know, so we gotta dispel this whole shit of if, yo, why you disrespect emoji? You got him number 5. Nigga, number 5 out of fucking 52 years of hip hop. That's a compliment in itself. You know what I mean? We gotta stop with this nut ass mindset that if you don't say somebody is the GOAT, that then it's disrespectful. So they're in my top 5. They are number 5. And like I said, Cast, Clips, EPMD, Run DMC. I don't know how anybody could be mad at that. Well, what about you? Is 1, how are you defining duo? And 2, are they in your top 5?
So duo, both of them rap. Both parties rap. So that kind of excludes like Gangstar. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they're my number 1 favorite. Are we going favorite, right? They're my number 1.
Yeah.
They're
All
my number 1.
Number 1. Right.
Yeah, they're my number 1. It's just like everybody knows the stories and all that. They just was very influential in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got stories about stuff that involves Mobb Deep. Like, I can go on for days. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they were just very influential in me coming up as a shorty. So they are my number 1. Like, they're my number 1.
That's dope. Top 5 mob bars. P, why don't you set us off with this Hey Love shit? Because I'm dying to hear what is so heartmelty about these verses.
Okay, I just don't know why you guys don't know. Like, it's just very interesting. Here's the thing about why this is such a heartmelty song is because this is not in the lane of Mobb Deep normally. Like, this is not, they don't rap about this kind of stuff. So when you have like dudes that are hardened and they're like talking about killing and bitch this and F that and mofo this and that, and then they soften up and they're talking about like, I'm a vibe with you, like, oh my god, and like, I'm gonna fly out and I'm gonna spend time with you and I just want to be all up on you. Like, it's just, that's heartmelty. That is heartmelty.
I gotta throw a flag on the play. All I hear is a whole bunch of niggas saying I'm trying to smash this weekend. That's all I hear. Like, I'm gonna fly you out, I'm gonna vibe with you, I'm gonna be all up on you smashing. I'm not hearing anything heartmelty. Put it this way, Porsche. Your thing with Heartmelty, if I'm not mistaken, is about like love and marriage. Does P say he's gonna marry this chick?
No, it's not necessarily marriage. It's just like you want to be with this person, like you,
Casey,
and then you've got 112
with the baby mother. Casey wanted to be with the baby mother. Bro, you gotta help me out here, bro. If Forever My Lady is not Heartmelty, how is I want to fly you out, spend time with you, vibe with you, all of that Heartmelty?
I think it's because it's Mobb Deep, and you're not used to hearing them in that lane. Like I don't think you ever heard them on that lane. So it's like
what you're saying is Heartmelty just because it's Mobb. Because if
what I'm saying is, like, here's the thing. He says, and wherever you go, girl, I'm on the next flight. Like, wherever you are, I want to come be with you. Like, I'm going to make that effort. It's all of the things. Like, Casey saying that he wants to be with this chick he knocked up is by default, Casey, you have to be with this girl. Like, you're going to be connected to her.
No, we don't have to be with your baby mother.
No, you don't have to be
out here in the hood.
Be involved with the kid. You have to.
No, Pete.
Oh my God.
How many kids out here don't have fathers? Don't know.
No, I know. What I'm saying is, no matter what, you have a child with a person. Like, whether that's a woman, a man, you're connected through this child. You don't.
But
have
it doesn't mean I want to be with you. The name of the song didn't have to be Forever My Lady. It could have been I Forgot About You.
Yeah, because now
really
he's like, well, fuck, I did this. Let me just like do good on my word and like let's just call it a day. But it's kind of like by default, he just doesn't want to be a douchebag. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like he just doesn't.
I can't, because I guess I know too many niggas who were douchebags. So to me, what makes it Heartmelty is saying I'm gonna do the right thing. Like if you said, "Hey, Kill, if you get a girl pregnant, you have to stay with them," then I'm dead with you. You right. This ain't really Heartmelty because I have to stay with you. It's the law. If I get you pregnant, I have to stay here with you and be in this child's life. Then that is not Heartmelty. The problem is in the hood in 1990, especially when this dropped, niggas wasn't staying with the people that they got pregnant. So to me, that's what does make it Heartmelty, because it's not a law to it. I can knock up somebody tomorrow and act like I don't even know who the girl is.
Yeah, I know.
You saw Miss Society. Look at Kane.
No, you're right. But at the end of
Society, he's like, "Girl, I don't know who you are." Like, it was hanging up the phone.
Right.
That's why Kane got murdered.
But it doesn't. But at the end of the day, you can deny your relationship and the girl and the baby all you want. But at the end of the day, you know that your child, you created your life, like the life you created is out there somewhere. You're connected to that mother no matter what, because this child is living and this child is carrying both of you guys together. At the end of the day, you're connected together, regardless of whether you want to pretend like you're not or you are or whatever it is. It doesn't really, like, I don't know. It's something about that just doesn't make it Heartmelty.
I got
for
you.
me.
I don't want to belabor the topic. I do have a friend right now who has a girl pregnant in another state paying child support. He's trying to find a girl and he can't even find her because he now wants to be a part of the kid's life. So that's the thing. So even though he got her pregnant, there's no connection. He can't even find her. But neither here nor there. Okay. We got to work out some before this Heartmelty show, because okay. So Heartmelty. Now I'm confused.
Okay, so
I think it may be different for R&B dudes. So Rel, work with me on this. Is what you're hearing is because it's Mobb Deep. Like, if Babyface sang these same words, would it be Heartmelty, Porsche? Because Babyface
Babyface has way Heartmeltier. Like, Babyface is the king of Heartmelty. So
but what you're saying is because
it would be like, no, it's not really the greatest thing I've ever heard coming out of Babyface, because he's got 7 C's. Like, it would be like if Little Fame from MOP told a girl, "Hey, walking down the street," right? And that would be so Heartmelty, right? Based off the fact that this nigga robs people on a daily basis, so right? I get it. Same with Method Man. You're all I need. Totally get it. Okay, one of the joints I got up is Have on Survival of the Fittest. Nice. I love when he says, "I'm trapped in between two worlds to get dough." With so many quotables on there.
I mean, these were words that I remember quoting. No matter how much loot I get, I'm staying in the projects forever. Jakes, we on the black, we out clever, separate, go together. My crew's all about loot, fuck, looking cute. I'm strictly Tim boots and army certified suits, puffing L's, laid back, enjoying the smell. And the bridge playing Nas, it ain't hard to tell. You better realize. So I think this goes back to P's point about a lot of people would just be like, oh, you know, Mobb Deep is just all P, it's just all P. Yo, have got bars on here, have got quotables out here in the tuck. You know what I mean? So that's a great point that you made, P, but it's just like, yeah, have got some joints up in here too. Yeah, so that's one of the joints I got right there. Rel, what's one of your joints' favorite Mobb Deep bars?
I break bread, ribs, $100 bills, on Ducatis, another full, and that whole, because Keep It Thorough is basically one verse, and he's had some I throw a TV at you crazy. People say, P, you crazy, a pain ass. Nah, but F you pay me. I'm no shorty. Yeah, I stop your glory. I'm a thorough street nigga for real. Yeah. Boy, please, man, take your baby mom's advice. I'm nothing sweet. Yo. P, see me in the street, soldier, salute me.
Salute
just
me.
The group. Oh, you gangster? Shoot me. Who gives a fuck, really? I miss my nigga Twin Daily. That... Man, you rap niggas make me crazy ass.
Yo, I'm telling
I don't
you,
give
man.
a fuck.
P,
so trash.
Yo, P was on some shit, man. P was on some shit. And it's crazy when you go back and you listen to his bars on Peer Pressure, or you listen to his bars on Hit It From the Back. It's like, nigga, what did y'all niggas do? Did y'all go to like rap class after school? Like, was it hanging around Large Pro and Q? Like, it's like their game just, I mean, looking at, like I said, Peer Pressure, there's no way in the world I could see. Like, when I heard Kane, I was like, okay, this nigga gonna be one of the GOATs. So when you heard Big, or, you know, but you hear Peer Pressure, you not thinking, yo, one day this young boy right here gonna be nasty. Yo, P turned into a fucking monster, man. That nigga turned into a monster. P, what's another joint you got?
I have Drop a Gem on him. And it's verse 1, and it's Havoc, and he says, you yell my name, that's only giving me props, plus the fans that you got wondering what's got you hot. And this is why I love Drop a Gem on him, because they were not intimidated by what Pac was saying. They weren't gonna just let it slide and, like, you know, let it go like most people maybe would have at that time. And I really appreciated that. And I think that that's a very clever line. I think that obviously it's not as striking as what Tupac said, but it does like kind of land. And I do like it. Like, it does stick out. So that one.
Yeah. I got P on Still Shining, man. There's so many quotables on this song from you. Special delivers, sending shots to your Act Vigor. One of my favorite cars when I was a young boy was an Act Vigor. My man Ted used to have one like my senior year of high school, and I always wanted to Act Vigor. So anytime rappers talk about Vigors, I'm always here. I'm headstrong at peace with myself like Islam. You stupid. 100 niggas form around me like force fields. Pull out and use guns like shields. Like, yo, this dude was just on some whole neck shit, you know. The fuck that nigga say on here? Hold on. Put holes through your shirt like Jamaican clothes. Like, yo, man, this dude P. And the funny thing is, he's funny with it, but he dead ass serious with it too. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's what made P such a monster. Was like he would make something sound funny. Like you said, bro, I throw a TV at you. Like, nigga, you gonna throw a TV at a nigga? Like, really? Like, we rumbling in your crib and you gonna pick up and hit me with the TV? Like, but yeah, P, yeah. So I still got P on Still Shining. What about you, Rel?
So P on Apostles Warning, he was like, this man is half mad scientist, half sane, create a rhyme labyrinth like poisonous cannabis, here take a toke of this, deadly red vocalist, overpower your tiny noise like locusts, like sunlight through a magnifying glass. I'll focus and burn a hole straight through your brain and leave you open and let the venom soak in. You start sweating, going through convulsions of dope shit I read. Yo, leaving niggas stuck. I let stick, trap into the web of a nigga that's sick. I wrap you up in cocoon, get caught up in the mist. Yo, dangerous, risky business, fucking with this. Contender number one, I had you on top of the list. You're the best challenger so far, but give me this, peep this. Fatal shots to solar plex, man down. Now who dares to go next? Like General Monk orders to chop neck. Yo, he was going crazy on that verse, bro. On some like sick stuff, bro. Yeah.
P got some shit, man. P 97P is crazy, man. Yo, it's crazy. I'm sitting up here flipping back between Eagles and the Phillies. Fucking took that L, man, to the Dodgers, man.
Yeah, bro. They choked, bro.
Some nut ass shit, but it is what it is. P, what you got up next?
I put my lifetime between the paper lines. That might be one of the best opening lines of any track ever. And again, Prodigy, as you said, is dope as hell. Tons of quotables. And I'm finding, like, as I was doing this, picking out verses, and my picks are all first verses. And between Prodigy and Havoc. And I kind of thought about that, and I was like, I think this is why I Mobb Deep sort of resonated with me so well, is because right out the gate of every song that I like, they give me a verse that kind of sticks and stays, if that makes sense. And so I just find that it's interesting to see that it's always a first verse. Like, I'm trying to be like, well, is there a verse that's better? And I'm like, nah, I got to go back to the first verse. Like, it's always that first verse that I love, whether it's Prodigy or Havoc. And again, that speaks to Havoc being, as you said, Kill, like on the same level as Prodigy. He could carry his own and he can hold his own. So yeah, that Quiet Storm verse 1 Prodigy is just unbelievable.
And that's my next one too, Quiet Storm. Like you said, I put my lifetime in between the papers lines. I mean, I agree with everything you just said. It's one of the dopest ways to set off the line. And when you really think about it, it's like, damn, like in between the papers lines, like for the young boys, like I don't even know if they still use line paper like that anymore. So that line may be over some people's heads, not because they don't even understand. Back in the day, you had to write in the lines of the paper and everything like that, which was crazy. Just so many quotables, yo, the P rock 40-inch cables, drinking white labels, my chain hang down to my dick, my piece bang glass tables. Like, what? Then the other thing with P is you could visualize it too. Like, I could see that dude, like, just crazy. And what he said, you better walk like them niggas on a tightrope, dude. You know what I mean? Like, P was just in a zone. Like, that Quiet Storm, man, his Dolo Quiet Storm to me is like maybe like my favorite P verses, because all three verses are just disgusting, man. Just stupid on that. Rel, what you got up next?
I had the same song, man. I gotta go to the second verse though, man. Like he went crazy. Spent too many nights sniffing coke, getting right, wasting my life. Now I gotta make things right. Ran open some gates, invest, business, doing things for the kids.
Little
jungle crib so they can enjoy youth, CBRs and VCRs, ATVs and big screen TVs. They can breathe. Don't make me have to risk my freedom. I worked my whole life for this. Don't get your shit beat it. Yo, man.
Make you kill shit.
He was on some other shit with that the original Quiet Storm, them verses, like he was, I don't know. Like you asked about the remakes, and I don't think you can capture what he was doing on that first one again. He probably just like, fuck it, just gonna write some shit, because you gotta be in a different zone writing some shit like that. The first time I heard that joint was on the mixtape. They ain't had no hook, nothing. It just had those verses. And I was
going in.
Yep. It had no hook or nothing. So, yeah.
P, what you got up next?
I've got, again, the first verse on Extortion, where it's Havoc, and I love the way he says, like, it just kind of glides, like, I don't know, he says, it's right out the gate. So look into the eyes, true lies, your whole clique despise, especially me, HAVOC. And then he says, don't want your chick because she's burning third degree. So like just the the way it flows, the poetic devices, like Havoc is crazy. I love Havoc as a rapper. So yeah, this one again stuck out for me. And Extortion, as you know, is one of my favorite slept on joints. So yeah, that one.
And I'll stay with your Have on Back at You when he sets it off with ashes to ashes, dust to dust, stainless steel gut. Would say stainless steel gats never rust. For the bloodshed, we say I leave for the bloodshed. I leave your mug red. I'm like cancer can't catch me because I done spread. Like just the way Have is in, and again, it's just like one of those things. I think people sleep on Have because he right next to P, but Have got some quotables out here, man, which I think is real dope. Bro, what you got up next?
All right, I got P on God Part 3. And yeah, he went crazy on it. All right, now pay attention to the crime rhyme. Houdini P, keeping you niggas in perspective. Mob representative. Call me the specialist, professional professor at this rap science up in the laboratory. That's why your small rhyme bore me. Your store-bought rap ain't shit. My category is that of an insane man to strike back. I draw first blood, it's over with, and that's that. And like, yo, and that's one of my favorite songs. I think both of them killed.
Bro, you see what was next up on mine right there, Godfather Part 3.
Man, listen, man.
Or when he say you fucking with P, you need to get. At least you got the opportunity to bust back.
Yo, yeah, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It look like we playing around tonight. P, what you got up for your last joint?
I actually only had 4 because I just jotted them down. But if you want to go to you and then maybe come back to me.
Yeah. The last one I got was Trife Life. Where we talk about P being a storyteller, I thought that was an ill story, just talking about, Shorty calling him, not knowing if you're gonna set him up. And one of my favorite joints is Together We 6 Deep with 5 Heat, Nut Sweet, first nigga front and getting lifted off his fucking feet. Like, I'm like, yo, this shit is dope right here, man. So Trife Life, one of my favorite joints too. And a slept on joint I forgot to mention is Trife Life Part 2 off of Hell on Earth, which was crazy too. With an ill story too. I'm about getting caught up with a shorty. And I think I relate to that so much because I've gotten out there caught up with shorties back in Philly, and you need your niggas come get you out some situations. So I loved how they kept that going, or whatever. P, you got another one? Or you want us to move on to the next?
No, move on to the next, John.
All right. So yo, what do you think the legacy that Mobb Deep has left for hip hop is? So like you could say all of them. Like me, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 different things that I felt that they've done for hip hop that'll be their legacy. So I'm not sure how everybody did it, but P, you could give everything you got. If you may only have one thing, or however you want to do. But what's one of the things that you feel like Mobb Deep's legacy will be for hip hop?
I got Havoc's production. Really just being very unique to them. Just the way that he kind of used, and I'm not a producer, so I obviously I'm not going to be using the terminology correctly, but I feel like it's maybe the snares and the way he sort of it's very, I don't know. I feel like when you hear something similar, it's like, oh, that's like a Havoc beat. It kind of reminds you, he's got it sort of cemented and it becomes like his trademark. And I love that on the production side. So that's one of them for me.
It's funny you say that because if you look right there, one of the things
nice.
Have snares.
Well, I'm just proud of myself that I said the correct terminology.
Yeah. I'll get to that. The first thing for me is that just being Queensbridge representatives. I think them repping, I know when we think about the bridge, of course, is Nas, which rightfully so. And people understanding that, like, yo, not forgetting that Queens was kind of dead in the water after the bridge is over. I mean, they were dead in the water for a minute, especially Queensbridge was dead in the water until Nas came out. But I think Mobb Deep coming right back with the infamous really just being representatives of the bridge. Like, I don't think you can talk about Queensbridge and not talk about Mobb Deep. You can't, talk about Havoc. So I definitely feel like they are Queensbridge representatives and help bring Queens back from the dead. Rel, what's one of your ideas of their legacy?
I think one of their legacies is they never back down from like battle or conflict. Like they just like there was some young dudes when Pac dissed them. You know what I'm saying? They could have. Yo, I can't. Wow.
Just walk away. Just look away, bro. Just don't even do it.
There was some young dudes. They could have really folded or not said none or been intimidated, like Portia said. But they always was there for the fuck shit, for the for the trauma. So they were known to never back down. So I think that's one of their legacies. That's one of mine.
Definitely. P, what you got up next?
This one's kind of a personal story, but I had a kind of a back and forth with Prodigy on Twitter years ago.
Word.
Yeah, and it was on my first account, and I think it was when, I don't know if you guys remember Twitter in the early days, but every time you got a tweet, it would email you that someone mentioned you, and then it would give you the copy of what they said in your email.
He called you white, right?
No, what he said was, so initially Prodigy was tweeting that rap music isn't for everybody. And I was like, well, I think it is. Like, and I guess I was naive. Like, I didn't realize where he was kind of going with it. And I wrote back and I was like, well, I don't think that's fair to say. Like, I think it is for everybody. Like, rap music transcends, like, all demographics and that. And he was like, no, it's not. And he wrote me back and he was like, it's not actually meant for you. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what do you mean by that? And he goes, our music, Mobb Deep's music, is not for people like you. And I was heartbroken. When I tell you, I was like, I can't even describe it. But in any case, I kind of thought about it. And to me, I later on over the years, and, as you kind of remember these kind of interactions, you think that was really dope and it goes back to what Rel says, like he stands firm on his beliefs. And I like that. And I appreciate that. And I think that carried over into the music as well with him and Havoc. And even though like he, it's a fan, and I was like, oh my God, like how could he say this to like a fan? But it was bigger than that. Like it didn't matter at that point. It was for the culture. And I love that Prodigy sort of stood for something and didn't care, and I love that. I think that that's very dope. There's no pandering, there's no, pretending, there's none of that. And he was just very kind of real. And I think that really goes a long way. That interaction has really stayed with me, obviously, over the years. So, yeah.
Is this like when you met Boyz II Men and they was assholes, but you still love them?
Yeah, I mean, Boyz II Men being assholes was heartbreaking in a totally different way, because you guys are supposed to be like, all about love and this, but you guys are like actually the biggest pieces of crap ever. Like they're just jerks. So that's different. This I kind of felt like, I don't know how to describe it. It was really sad, because I am just such a fan of hip hop, and hip hop's been with me ever since I was young, very young, and I've never been away from it. Hip hop's always been a consistent in my life, and when you're told that by a rapper that you love, like you love their music, you're a fan of their music, you buy all their music, like a fan, like you say, Kill, like a support, when they say that, it's kind of like being gut punched, but it's a principle, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. So yeah.
All right, no doubt. Next up, I got same thing Rel had. I had being the only NYC boys who was stepping back to Pac. Pac was talking real greasy about New York, Snoop was talking real greasy. Death Row was talking real greasy. It was real quiet in Brooklyn. It was real quiet. Nobody was saying a mumbling peep. Smith and Wesson and Duck Down was running with Pac and everybody. So I felt like Mobb Deep not only put Queens on their back, but put all of the 5 boroughs on their back to rep for that thing. You know what I mean? So I think that that's something that they don't get credit for, you know. And I mean, I know CNN and Nori was kind of just there as the young boys, but it was just like, you know, when it was time to go to war on some even on some lyrical shit, like not even getting into nothing, you know, nothing real life. Mobb Deep was there, and nobody else in NY was real quiet. You know what I mean? So I think that should be part of their legacy, where these niggas didn't back down from probably one of the biggest rappers in the game when a whole fucking city was quiet. You know what I mean? Who normally isn't quiet. You know what I mean? Like, this is not North Dakota. This is fucking New York City. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I definitely think that should go down as a piece of their legacy too. Bro, what you got up next, bro?
New York resurgence, like when it was I think they're part of the resurgence of New York when, you know, the West was kind of controlling everything. You know what I'm saying? They weren't one of the first ones, but they were a part of that the resurgence of New York hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's one of their legacy for me.
Right. That's dope. Hey, what you got up next?
I have to speak to their ability to have a let's just call it what it is, a terrible first album, and their ability to just kind of bounce back from that full force. Like, they came out with infamous 5 mics, then Hell on Earth for me 5 mics. Like, this is, to me, not easy to do. Not a lot of rappers have done it. Not a lot of groups have done it. But Mobb Deep did it, and they did it very, very well. And I think that speaks to their hunger. I think it speaks to their drive, their discipline, all of the things. Like, they just learned and did better, and they totally did better. So right. Yeah.
Very similar to what you just said. I have both stepped their game up. If you listen to Peer Pressure and Shook Ones, P just went from being aight to being one of the nastiest MCs ever, which is not an easy thing to do. And then Hab went from not knowing how to produce to literally becoming one of the dopest producers ever. You know, in the 90s, you look at P, I mean, you look at Hab 94, 90, really 95 through maybe 98, 99, he was probably top 5 producer walking the planet Earth right at that point. So to go from not knowing how to produce to becoming such a great producer is amazing. Like Porsche said, Havoc snares. Yo, when you listen to Drop a Gem on them, when you're listening to an Eye for an Eye, just go back and listen to those snares and listen to the way they were programmed and listen to them drums, which is crazy. Then on top of that, you got nobody. My man, shout out to my man, Kid Called Roots out of Queens. We did this show on EAA called Milk Crates, where he would play the original sample, and then we play with the producer, what producer used it. It took niggas like 15, 16 years to find out what he used on Shook Ones, which is like damn near, that's like one of those rare, that was like how niggas just are finding out what Tip used on Crooklyn Dodgers. Like, niggas just found that out like a month ago or maybe a couple of months ago or whatever. So the fact that he did that, I just think it has to be talked about, that you're taking somebody who, imagine, bro, you know how niggas be with football. Niggas be playing Pop Warner since they was young boys. You know, they play high school, they play college, they get to the NFL. Imagine a nigga who just never fucking played football his whole life, made the college squad, got drafted, and now this nigga one of the best players in the NFL. Like, that'd be unheard of. And to me, that's what Havoc did, and that's not talked about enough. So I definitely think their legacy for being able to step up their game lyrically, in production wise, is bananas to me. So that's another joint I got. What else you got, Ro?
I had to Havoc's production, and I don't know. So you go from not knowing how to produce, right? Mm-hmm. And then
one of the
you
first beats
produce.
you make is fucking Shook Ones Part 2.
Yeah, like I just need. I want to. What is the story about that? That's. I don't understand. Like, how do you
Yo,
do
just
that,
stop
bro? Like,
looking, bro. Just stop. Just don't
Rel
even,
is so
just stop.
distracted. Oh my god.
Don't even look, man. I'm looking at the score in my corner up here, and it's like I'm just gonna close this out.
But yeah, how does he do that? Like seriously, how?
I mean, I will say this. I think I think Large Pro was teaching him how to, use some shit, being around Tip. But here's the thing. Just because somebody shows you how to do something doesn't mean that you just automatically become great at it. You know what I mean? So he definitely, I mean, I think that's in the documentary itself. Like everything you're asking, I can tell you how I think it happened, but to really sit there and talk about how you went from not knowing this to getting the records and all that. I mean, to me, Havoc deserves a doc. To me, they're right there with Outkast. Outkast's first album is all organized noise. The second album is half and half. By Aquemini, it's like 70 Outkast, 30% organized noise. And by the time you get to Stankonia, it's damn near like all Outkast. By the time you get to Love Below and Speaker Box, it's all Outkast. There's no organized noise. So again, to think about this, Elevators and Miss Jackson are two of their biggest songs. And if I'm not mistaken, Outkast produced both of those. You know what I mean? So how do you go from not making beats to then fucking coming back and making Elevators, which may be Outkast's biggest song, or one of their biggest songs like that. So it's the same with Have. Like that's, I wish I knew, bro, because I wish I could say, I got on the ASR 10 and the first fucking beat I made was some crazy shit. Like it's not. You know what I mean? It took me 50, 60 beats just to get the swing of the ASR 10. So again, he may have known the technical aspects of how to use the SP or the MP. I think he was an MPC 3000 boy, but you still got to be able to have the talent in the air. Just because you can use the machine don't mean you're going to make great music. So yeah, I'm with you. Have is that boy for that. Yeah. Pete, you got anything else?
Nope. You guys mentioned everything.
The only other thing I had was they have an anthem with Shook Ones 2. To me, Shook Ones 2 is right there with Top Billin', is right there with one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. I'm not mad. It was something on Twitter a couple of years ago. Is Shook Ones the dopest hip hop beat ever? I don't think it is, but I'm not mad at somebody of a certain age who believes that. Hell, I ain't even really mad if somebody my age believes that, because it could be. You know what I mean? So, and most MCs don't have that anthem. Most MCs don't have that song that when you hit play, as soon as you turn it on, people just lose their shit. I remember being at Morgan. We used to hit up this roller rink over off Pennsylvania Avenue on the west side, and as soon as Shook Ones would come on, everybody would just hit. I mean, everybody, girls, niggas, regular college boys, everybody would just lose their shit. And you play it 35 years later right now, I guarantee you people lose their shit. So to have an anthem, that's crazy. And this ain't really no legacy, but it was thorough when it happened. Like, girl, I don't know about you. Everybody on campus was like, yo, what's good? Done. Everybody was done language. You know what I mean? It went from son to done. And, for a minute there, everything was like, what's good? Done. Like, so even coming up with their own little lingo. But I think Mob has laid an amazing foundation. It has an amazing legacy that will be passed on, everything like that. Now tell me this, Rel. I know, let me start with P first. P, how did you feel about when you heard Mobb Deep was dropping a new album on Nas's label Mass Appeal?
I'm not like a giant fan of these kinds of things, because for me, I'm like, well, Prodigy's passed away. Havoc, I'm sure, has some things in the tuck. Like, obviously, he has access to a lot of things, and I trust Havoc's like ear and ability and all of this. But I just feel like if Prodigy's not here, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of like releasing things on as a group if half the group is not present. Do you know what I mean? Like it's to me, it just doesn't feel like it's going to be a real Mobb Deep album, if that makes sense. I'm a little bit nervous about what it's going to, because now all of a sudden you've got like Mobb Deep slapped across everything. So you're expecting it to be a way after we just talked about for an hour and 20 minutes about all of these great things over the years that Mobb Deep's done and Prodigy and Havoc and all of this. Now you have an expectation, even if you don't want to have an expectation. And then how is it going to, so I'm a little nervous about it. But I'm not as thrilled as a lot of people are. So I don't know. We'll see.
Now I'll say this. Has it changed? Because I'm 100% with you. When I saw the Mass Appeal rollout, I'm like, Mob, De La, and Big L. I'm like, niggas are dead. Like, Dave is dead. Big L has been dead for 25 years? He is dead. But y'all know me. If you follow me or you watch this enough, I would much rather be wrong than right. I'd rather have people tell me, see, Kill, I told you. Because if I'm right, then we got a shitty album. So I can say this. From the first song that I heard, I was like, yo, this shit is dope. And, well, I told you the other day, I dropped Nate off at UMD, and I put on Taj Mahal, and I drove for 50 minutes with that shit on repeat, all the way from University of Maryland back to Waldorf, because I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, I love this joint. So I'm not going to hold you. I'm now hyped for the album because I heard 2 joints. Dog, I done seen the track list and they got a song with the Clips. Yeah. They got 2 songs with Nas. They got a song with Ghost and Ray. I'm like, yo, I'm hyped for the album now. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I love, you would Taj Mahal, you would think that shit. And again, I was with Spence today. Shout out to Spence, Apartment 5B fam. He actually drove down from Philly to my teen center today to just kick it with my kids. He went to both of my hoods. He was out in the hood with me today. So definitely shout out to Spence for that. But he was saying like he had heard these P verses before. So for him, it kind of hits a little different. For me, I haven't heard these P verses before. I'll be the first to admit, after H&I and C, I really didn't keep up with all the Prodigy solo stuff. You know what I mean? And like little mixtapes here and there. So for me, this is my first time hearing these joints. But he's like, for him, it's like, man, I remember that verse or whatever. So, you know what I mean? But Rel, what about you? Were you hype? You being a Mobb Deep fan that you are, were you hype even before you heard the songs? Or did it change? Or how was your feeling?
I was cautiously optimistic, but cautiously because I don't really like the posthumous albums either. Like when the person is passed, and I just didn't know how many verses, like how it was going to be done. You know what I'm saying? And this was, when I heard of all of the releases, I was just like, Mobb Deep. I'm like, okay. So, but then I heard the first song. I actually first heard that on Joe and Jada. Yeah. They played it. I was like, okay, all right. Then I heard Taj Mahal. Someone dropped a snippet of the joint with Clips, and I started listening to it. I just had to stop. But so I'm like, okay. So now I'm like, maybe this joint's gonna be crazy. And then I seen the track list, and I'm like, I don't know. This joint might be. We'll see how they do it, because I'm kind of like Porsche. I'm not like a fan of these type of albums, but I'm a huge Mobb Deep fan. So I'm just like cautiously optimistic. But from what I've heard so far, I'm like, yeah, it sounds good. So we'll see in an hour and a half.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's dope. I mean, I think if the beats are dope enough, then I think. And again, like I said, if you haven't heard the verses before, then I think it'll hit different than somebody who has heard the verses before or whatever like that, especially if wherever they're taking the verses from, if that song was better than what you hearing now. So, I mean, I think it'll be I can see this being an album where some people probably either love it or they hate it. I don't see this being a middle ground type album. And the people who hate it may be the people, like I said, who have heard the song, like, oh, I remember that. I like that verse better on that than over here or whatever like that. But we shall see. Definitely salute Mobb Deep for everything that they have given us for hip hop since 1995, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Like I said, Rel, so many memories. Poor, so many memories. I've got too many memories of playing Mob up at 889. So definitely salute and have P and Rapinoid, man. I always wanted that Rapinoid album in like 95, 96, produced by Have. I thought that shit would have been crazy, but I think he got locked up, man. So, yeah, I mean, sound like he a cousin of, like he a Philly MC. He always get locked up right at his height or whatever like that. But, Rel, where can they get at you, good brother?
Uptown Rel 215 on Instagram, JBen215 on Twitter, X.
All right. P, where can they get at you?
I guess on Twitter, at Shayla Porsche.
Now, everybody who's watching this app, we are going to be doing an app where we got to come up with 5 songs that we think are Heartmelty for P. She just fucked up everything tonight because I don't know what. I think I kind of got it. If you rob niggas and you say you want to hold hands, that's Heartmelty. But if you don't rob niggas and you say you want to hold hands, that's not Heartmelty, because that's what a good guy should be doing anyway. It's only a fucking stick-up kid who is holding your hand would make you Heartmelty. So I think I'm trying to understand the breakdown, the mathematical equation of how what equals Heartmelty. But you want to definitely tap into that episode because that's going to be fucking hilarious. I will check y'all next week, good peoples.